You have questions, we have answers. This is Jane Miller.
And this is Ken Miller. Welcome to our show, all about real estate with Ken and Jane. Well, Jane, we're in the second weekend of March, and spring is right around the corner. So we thought
It's already spring.
Well, yeah, that's true. We had a long winter, so I can't wait for some warmer weather, right?
Yes.
Some better days ahead. And we're going to do our annual show on what you can do for your home in the spring to keep it in good shape, and whether or not you're going to sell or not. It's just good preventive maintenance things, PM things you can do to make sure that the home is working to its best and, stays healthy, as we want to say.
You know what? The spring clean or the the fall clean, I think it's just like you do annual check with your health, right? I mean, you should just, if you regularly service your car or regularly go to, do the annual check with your health, that's the prevention is the key, right? So if you do this every once a year or twice a year, and you enjoy the home more, and you don't have nasty surprises, so that's very important. And it's not much to do, and it's not break your bank. And when you do little things, perk up the house or make some changes, and your mood change and your backdrop change, and you enjoy your home more.
Right.
May add more element to your daily life.
And it looks nicer too. It's a prettier home. So we're going to start. We're going to cover the outside first, and then we're going to go. Then we're going to go to the inside.
Yes.
So on the outside, one of the first things you want to look at are your gutter and leaders. Obviously, the gutters. If you have any trees anywhere near it, you've got to check the gutters. Have somebody, if you don't want to climb the ladder yourself, have someone go up there.
Hire somebody.
A professional contractor or somebody with insurance, so that they're
insurance
covered.
Is very important.
You want to clear them of the leaves, debris, so that they're intended to collect the rainwater and take it to the leaders, and then the leaders are hopefully going to divert the water away from the house. So you want to make sure your gutters are clean. We can tell you stories about different homes where the gutters became a greenhouse, in effect, right? We had plants growing in there, and it looked like a tropical rainforest. You don't want that to happen where dirt and debris and leaves accumulate, because then it makes it messy, and they're not doing their purpose, because if they're clogged, they can't collect the rainwater and send it to the leaders. So then what happens is the rainwater runs right down the house and against the foundation, right into the soil, and eventually it's going to cause water
in the basement, basement water issue.
Water issues. So gutter cleaning is very important.
Very
I would say
easy,
in the fall and the spring at least, or at least check it. I'll have somebody check it, and if there doesn't need to be cleaned, that's good. But you want to, something.
Depends how many trees you have around your house.
It really depends, right? If you don't have any trees, but still, it's a good to check it twice a year. Fall and the spring. We had a lot of wind this spring. A lot of stuff can blow from different. Even if they're not immediate trees in your area, there's a lot of wind can take things.
Yeah, the dirt came in with the seed in it. You have a greenhouse like this.
Yeah, like a greenhouse, exactly, right. Then with the downspouts, we should say, or the leaders, you want to also check to make sure that the leaders have an elbow on them, so that at the very least the water is diverted, 2-3 feet or even further away is ideal. Oftentimes we go to homes and the leaders are just a vertical drop, and then they just literally, there's like a 3-foot gap, and then the rainwater, it just drops right against the soil or the foundation, and then that's not good, because then the water isn't being diverted far enough away from the foundation, so you're going to get water issues against the foundation.
Yeah, it's a few dollars.
It's a few dollars. Go to Home Depot, Lowe's, buy some elbows and some extensions, and just pitch it away. That's all you need.
You don't need to be handy to do that.
You don't even need to screw anything. You just
you just
need
put
to
it
connect
in.
the elbow, and that's it. It's very.
Sometimes if you disconnect it, but like you said, they may got off. So that's why I just walk around the house, at least twice a year, at least, spring and fall. So you pick it up with your own eyes, and things need to be done. Just small, very simple. Connect it, that's what you have to do. And that would give you peace of mind.
Yeah. And believe it or not, and if you are selling the house, these are things that have become home inspection issues. The
Yes,
home inspector will
absolutely.
always cite the house if you don't have the elbows or the downspouts, or just missing that 90-degree elbow that's going to, further divert the water. So that's just just like you said,
Common
inexpensive
sense.
things that you can do.
Yeah.
All right, let's also talk about while we're talking about the foundation, it's good to take a walk around the house and check the soil pitch. You want to make sure that your soil and is pitched away from the foundation. It's nice to have a little pitch so that way any runoff from rainwater will go away from the house, and you don't want an inverted pitch where the water is going to go into the house.
Yes.
Again, common sense, but you'd be surprised how many homes, you need to, fill that in, and, that you can do that yourself or hire a contractor. But
Yes.
it's something that's, so it doesn't take much to do, but it can go a long way to preventing water problems.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What about also the roof we want to cover? The roof is so important. To maintain the health of the roof, you want to check for any overhanging branches. You want to trim them back. You don't want any branches on the roof or blocking the roof, because that can lead to moss buildup. It can also provide a pathway for animals to climb on the roof, and then they can start finding ways to get into your attic, which you want to avoid. So it's good to have the branches and everything trimmed. And by the way, the big thing now with insurance companies for homeowners insurance is they're looking at not only the age of the roof for insurability, but also we've had a few clients that look at the condition and look at the branches. I've had one client in particular that had an issue because the insurance company mandated that they cut the overhanging branches.
Yes.
Even though it was a newer roof, they still wanted it cut because they wanted to prevent any issues with branches falling on the roof, which can damage it, or any, like we said, any animals or squirrels climbing on it, or causing havoc or moss buildup. So the roof should be free and clear of anything.
That would extend the life of the roof too. So that's small things you do each year. Will extend the life, so save you money in the long run. Yeah,
right.
And the headache too. Yes.
Right. So that's So those are big items. The roof, the gutters, the leaders. Those are the external workings of your house to protect your house from rain getting in and diverting the water away. Right.
Yes. That's the key. That's really for the structural, is protecting the structure of the house. A lot of home inspection issue is the basement, is the water issue, it's not like water come in, but the zip in.
Yeah,
you can see the wall, the basement wall. Sometimes you can see that white.
Oh, the effervescence.
Yeah. Yes.
And I don't know what percentage, but I know it's a significant percentage that if you do these simple routine PM things we're talking about for the cleaning the gutters, diverting the leaders, ensuring the roof is protected. The water, you can reduce your water infiltration problems with the foundation significantly.
Yeah, definitely. We don't know the percentage, but it's a greatly because
but it's a lot, because you've experienced it from seeing thousands of homes, and you've seen that these issues. A lot of times when the home inspector finds an issue, the solution a lot of times the contractors come in, they may have to treat the area internally, but they also look at it from the broader picture of treating the external factors, which would be changing the pitch on the foundation, on the soil, cleaning the gutters and leaders, and just diverting the water away from the house.
Yes. Yeah, it's a significant help.
Right.
Yeah, to reduce the problem, the potential problem down. That's all add up. Say, if you have this problem for 10 years, for example, right? I mean, the water keep just from the gutter directly to your foundation for 10, 20 years. I mean, think about it. If you have a little sickness inside you, but you didn't check, you didn't do nothing for 10, 20 years, the very great chance that will get turned to a bigger problem, right?
Yeah.
So the same thing with the house, same thing with the car.
Yeah, just like a clog. If you don't address a plumbing issue, the clog will get bigger. Just like the leaders, if you don't address it when it's a smaller problem, then eventually you're going to have the greenhouse with dirt and debris and plants, and it'll just be totally. And then eventually the weight of it will collapse the
gutter.
And then
that happened before.
Yeah.
It happened before.
Yeah,
so
these are real life things.
We had to replace a partial of the gutter. At the end, I suggest owners to replace the whole thing because it doesn't look good. The old and new, and plus, even the other part is savable, but the condition is terrible. So better just do the new thing. But once again, if they did what you just said, Ken, I mean, they don't. The lifespan will be much longer for the house. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. On the outside, let's continue. Also, the deck. If you have a deck or patio, it's good to make sure that the deck is in good order. If it's a wooden deck, it should be painted or stained periodically. You don't want to sort of protect the wood from
rotten. Yeah.
Rotten. If you have a Trex deck, I guess those are pretty good. You don't have to do too much with them, but maybe just make sure they're clean and don't allow any debris to build up.
Yeah.
So that's but that's a very important thing.
And if they have a patio, sometimes, if anywhere loosen, you probably resand it or something. At the beginning a small thing, but if you don't take care, and then if a lot of the Belgian block loosen, so you're gonna be a big problem down the track, and a partial of them may sink, right? So once again, just have a look at the beginning. Maybe the handyman can quickly get it done, fill up the sand, whatever they do. It's a simpler. It doesn't cost much. But if you don't do it, it's getting worse and worse, and that's the time you have to cost more to fix the problem. Yeah.
And then likewise with the exterior for plants and shrubs, it's good to have your shrubs trimmed so that makes sure that there's a clearance level between the shrubs and the home and the siding, so they're not up against it. Have a 2 or 3 feet. So it's good to trim back all your shrubs so it'll look neater, and it'll also protect the house and the foundation from any direct contact with the shrubs. And now, if you want to plant new things, of course, the spring is a good time for that. But you should also do some research.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
You want to research and make sure whatever you're going to plant is you want to plant it at the right distance, so when you plant it, it doesn't overgrow the surroundings and start coming up too close to the house. So you want to
also research the plant or tree itself. Some of them very intrusive. And once
bamboo,
I had the bamboo. Forget it. The whole yard will be grow. Once there was not bamboo. There was a kind of trees the owner planted, and at the end the tree when so much the back wall is really got in the roots growing the back wall, the one side of the wall. So the when we sell the house, it was a big problem. It's a huge problem, and they have to engineer was called. They have to repair the wall. So they have to put a strap on that. They have to cut a tree. That
gets to another thing with trees. You want to be very careful or cognizant. Also, any trees or plants with the sewer pipes, because if you have a tree or a plant that's too close to your underground sewer, it can cause, and it has caused, problems in certain homes with the trees penetrating the pipe, and then that comes up.
We had that too. Last time we had a few houses. Yeah, they had a tree problem, infiltration of the pipe, cost my client over $10,000 to replace.
And the listeners are probably wondering, well, how do people know it's underground? Well, the thing is, they know it if you're selling the house. What's becoming more and more popular now is for the buyers to do an underground sewer scope, where they actually the professional will bring a camera in on the underground lateral that goes from the basement to the street, and they'll check the sewer pipe to make sure, for what we're saying, that there's no holes or breaks in it.
Yes.
And which happens, it's not that, it is
very common. You have a lot of trees in the front yard.
It can cost thousands of dollars to fix it.
$10,000 minimum to replace
depending
the sewer
on the length
line.
of the pipe.
Yes.
And, so it's a big deal.
Yes.
So plants, like you said, bamboo. I mean, when they talk about bamboo being regenerating, it regenerates.
At the beginning, you may say nothing, but after 2-3 years or 5 years, the whole backyard came up. That's really a very invasive. Yeah. I love bamboo, don't get me wrong, but I definitely don't want that in my backyard. That's very hard to get rid of.
Nice hardwood flooring,
very
too.
Hard, but not in your backyard.
Not in your backyard, right? Because the roots, it would be a project.
And your neighbor is going to complain because it'll go everywhere.
Yeah, it'll grow. It'll encroach. It'll just go to their neighbor too. It doesn't know the boundary line. So
and then they're going to possibly damage your basement wall and everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Why don't we take a short break? We'll be right back after these messages. All right, welcome back. So let's finish up talking about the spring maintenance things. Let's finish up with the outside. We're talking about the tree roots and how they can damage the underground pipes. How if the tree roots are too close, they can also cause serious damage to your foundation, which can cost thousands of dollars if it causes the cracking due to lateral pressure. There's another thing that where it's very common in central Jersey. There's a lot of beautiful trees that are planted at the perimeter and the front of homes, and the homes also have sidewalks.
Yes.
And you get the upheaval of the sidewalks, which is a big concern for safety, and it's also a big concern for homeowners insurance.
Yes.
The insurability for trip hazard, because the insurance companies are very cognizant of that, just like their big focus now is on roofs, making sure the age of the roof, it's less, they want it 15 or 20 years, not older usually, and then the sidewalks. So you want to look at your sidewalks, because as a homeowner, you're responsible for your sidewalks. So if you see if there's an upheaval in the sidewalk, you want to get that attended to
Yes.
as soon as possible.
If somebody tripped, they're going to,
Yeah.
possibly claim on your insurance or sue you.
I mean, we all love the trees, and nobody wants to kill a tree, but you may
Yeah.
have to do something with the tree to cut the roots back, or to
to level the
the sidewalk.
sidewalk. Yeah,
Yeah.
very
So the
important.
trees are beautiful, but they can cause these problems to your
Yeah.
home and the sidewalk. So
Yes.
So also on the outside, it's not a bad idea to clean the windows from the
Yes.
outside.
Mm-hmm.
Make your house
Yeah.
look at sparkling.
Brighter.
And the
Yeah.
shutters go with that. So if you have the shutters have faded, you can do these are little things that can
Yes.
give your house a little, like a lipstick, a
Yes,
facelift.
that's
To
right.
make it, shine,
Yes.
shine a little bit.
Yeah.
So now we will go into the inside of the house. So in the inside of the house, the first item we want to cover is the furnace. And if you have a furnace, you normally have a filter, and the filter needs to be checked and replaced probably at least, probably every 3 to 4 months, but at least minimum twice a year, fall and spring. So you want to check your filter, and if it's clogged, if it's clogged or dirty, you want to replace it for 2 reasons. Number one, the health reason. You don't want your filter, you have too much dust and debris accumulated, so it can no longer filter anything else. And secondly, by replacing it, you're making your machine work more efficiently. If the filter is clogged, then it's harder for the furnace to pump the air because it's got to pump it through a clogged filter, and that can cause a lot of problems to the furnace. We've had situations where the furnace wasn't working well, and they turned out it was a very simple fix. It was just because the filter was clogged.
Yeah.
So
a lot of young buyers these days, right? Unfortunately, or they not grown up, in the house, so they're not so handy. And I just recently had a client. They bought a house like 5 years ago, and when I represent them selling the house, they move out of state. The inspector took a picture of that filter that was like so dirty, almost blocked. Luckily, they had a brand new machine, so the machine working well because it's brand new. So when they bought it 5 years ago, the previous owner updated the brand new HVAC, but 5 years they didn't change the filter. So I mean, when I asked them, I said, "You should change the filter," and my client said, "Where? How?"
Yeah, a lot of times.
I told them it's Google it, do the YouTube, you will see. They said, what do I do? I said, well, you have to find it in the machine. You find it, take the filter out. On that filter, old filter, filthy one has the size. You have to go online to buy that size. And then it's very simple. You just put it in. But you have to make sure, read the filter itself, which way is up, which way is down.
Yeah, there's usually an arrow that tells you, and usually
I had
the
a
arrow
client put
towards
it the other way
around.
too.
Yeah.
So, that's very simple. But check it. If you're not sure yourself,
You can
hire a company, HVAC company. They can come once and twice a year to service your machine. Once again, that's a good thing. That's a good
PM
thing to have.
do, right?
Yes.
And sometimes a filter can be on the exhaust of the
Yes.
return line. So
Yes.
the return line, so it may not be readily apparent. But if
Yes.
it's like in that case, you could always do a little research, and then you might have to just unscrew the
Yes.
the screen and then get the filter.
Get it out.
But
Yeah.
or like you said, you can always get a company or a handyman to do that. If
Yeah,
you're
it's not
it's
expensive, right? I think it's worth it. I mean, instead of you may eat out once less, and today, right? Everything's so expensive. If you eat out once, it's easily a couple of $100 for the family, like nothing fancy. A couple of $100, you could use that to hire a person to maintenance your HVAC.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
save a lot of
the
problems.
thing to remember is people have a house, and we see that at all different levels. People tend to forget that with a home, it is very similar to a car. You have to maintain certain things.
Yes.
You can't it's not this stagnant thing that's just going to stay in great shape without doing anything. You can't just
You
cut
have
the
to do.
grass and rake the leaves. The house has these moving parts to it, like
Yeah.
these mechanical things, like a furnace. So it needs.
They have a
some-
lifespan.
Yeah, it has a lifespan, but also needs some attention. It needs
Maintenance,
a little
yeah.
TLC once in a while.
Like
So you
our
got-
body, you
yeah.
need the TLC from time
so you
to time.
can't just put the thermostat and then when they change it from heat to cold and expect the thing to always
Yeah.
regenerate. You have to check at least the filter, and then it's a lot
Yeah.
of homeowners have the PM contract where they
Yes.
service it on an annual basis or twice a year.
Twice a year.
So
Yeah.
that's a good way to ensure you're gonna extend the life maximize the life of it.
Yeah, and also you don't have an emergency. Say sometimes if you now is a spring, one day, I mean May or April, one day it's very hot. You turn on the AC, it doesn't work, and that day everybody called the contractor. You may have to wait. So just get it done early. So you know everything's in order. You don't have a nasty surprises, and you don't have a big bills. Yes.
Right. All right, good. So the next thing we're going to cover is the life safety thing with smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. This is all, I mean, these are, when you sell the house, these are all required to be, and they check it in it's a state law. You have to have smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors outside the bedroom halls. You need a fire extinguisher mounted in the kitchen of a 2A, 10BC. But I'm talking, this show is more about, talking about the maintenance. And for the people that live in the home, the intention of these is to protect you in the event of a fire or carbon monoxide leak. So we can't stress enough to please make sure that your batteries, they're all in good working order. The newer homes have the electric with battery backup. So you want to check them. Just go around the home, check your carbon monoxide, check your smoke detectors. They all have test buttons, and make sure that they're working. And the worst thing we can see is sometimes you go to these homes or these apartments, and people, disconnect them completely because they don't want to be bothered when it's cooking, because it goes off they consider it a nuisance. I mean, and that's unfortunate because they really have they play a vital role in saving lives. And, by detecting fires and smoke. So
that's right.
It's critical that you please keep them in service. And if you don't have a carbon monoxide detector, they're very inexpensive. Go and put one. Make sure you have one outside your bedroom, outside your bedrooms in the hallway. They should be within 10 feet of the bedrooms.
Once again, Ken, you brought up very important point, right? We are here talk about maintenance. We're not talk about selling your home, right? When you're selling your home, absolutely, we need a fire extinguisher, right? In order for us to pass the fire inspection to get a certificate for the closing. But if you're living in the house, right, you have a fire extinguisher or not, in my opinion, once again, this is only my opinion, right? I don't think it's that important. Why? When there's a fire, don't try to put off yourself. Call 911.
Right.
Because a lot of time, the vital time at the beginning, if you try to put it off, we're not professional. Most of us don't know how
to use it.
How to use it. So by the time you find it, you use it, and you waste another 5-10 minutes.
There was a lot of debate, even internally among the professionals, about whether the mandate where they require a fire extinguisher in every home now is part of the sale. They think there was a lot of pros and cons, and some felt it was a big lobbyist effort by the manufacturers because they wanted. But a lot of, like you said, most people don't know how to use it. So by the time they figure it out, you're wasting valuable time. So get out, call 911, and let the professionals come in and fight the fire.
I mean, that's the thing. Once again, this show is for the people who live in the house, not for sale. For sale, absolutely. Without updated the new within a year old fire extinguisher, you're not gonna certificate. But for the people who live in the house, if anytime it's emergency, call 911. That's very important. Don't try to handle the fire yourself. You could call 911 and then you try to handle it, but not the other way around. You waste valuable time. Yes.
Absolutely. Right. That's true. So again, fire safety, life safety, that's
very
critical.
Important.
That's whether you're selling the home or not. These are things to ensure your safety while living in the home.
Yes.
You can have carbon monoxide leaks from the furnace. So it's something you want to definitely monitor in your home.
Absolutely.
So what else do we want to cover inside the house? We are going to cover the decluttering is a good thing, right?
Yes. Every year, you know what? You do a little bit a year, and your house always, neat and have a lot of space.
Well, decluttering, we're talking not necessarily about the clothes, but also about things. A lot of people have the basements and the garages, which are great things because you can't have enough storage. But if there are things that you haven't used in the last 5 or 10 years, and they're just
you told me
dust,
3 years for our house.
Well, I would, for you, I had to make an exception. Otherwise, you'd have things from 1975. You would keep a receipt from I don't know, 7-Eleven or a gas receipt. And you would just throw
what? I always want to keep my school report, school books, even though the books from a long time ago, from 90s, right?
No, the only books that I kept were some of my law school books. Like the college books, I don't know what I did with those or donated them. But even the high school books, I think when I went to school, they were just you return them, and now they have all the stuff on computers and whatever books the kids have. I know Maria, they just borrow them and they give them back.
That's
which
right.
is good, right? But you have to obviously there's sentimental things that you want to be
Yeah.
you want to hold on to, but things that whether we're talking about clothes or furniture or things that that are just sitting there and not contributing to your overall enjoyment and well-being, it's good to declutter. Do it on an annual basis, because if you wait till the time you're ready to move, it becomes a very burdensome task.
And it is costly too.
And costly,
to get
right.
people to help to get rid of the unwanted furniture and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a costly too. If you do a little bit,
But it's costly, and it's also exhausting, because if you just have stuff in piles, it's tiring. When
you have to
so
go
many
through
clients,
them.
You've got to go through
You
it
have
and
to
see,
go
do I want
through
to keep?
them.
What do I
Yeah.
want to keep? What do I want to donate
Yeah.
or get rid
Yeah.
of? So it's a very, very, very time-consuming thing.
Do it
And so-
annually.
Annually, and so that's why with even Jane, that's when you say declutter and those two words don't go together sometimes, right?
That's right.
Yeah, because we
That's
have to declutter your car like every time I drive it, every few weeks, because otherwise there's
right.
a bunch of water bottles on the passenger seat. There's stuff
There's
in the back,
paper, there's a
everywhere.
listing, they have
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
I have, yes,
You have a
everything.
receipt for or some seminar you went to 3 years ago. You'll have something or some
Yes.
You'll have a sign-in sheet or something.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that's
right.
Jane. Yep. So anything else you want to say?
I
about-
think another thing is like for the audience there, right? I mean, you live in a house. I mean, my mother is an expert in that. She always changes something every year. So, she either paint a wall, which is not much. When she was younger, she's 86 now, God bless her. But when she's younger, even she doesn't paint. She likes to move the furniture around. Just simple. A lot of times she moves furniture around to give you a new look and put up some new pictures, photos, frame, or change the content in the frame. Just something boost up,
Yeah,
give
something
you a
simple,
fresh,
like a picture,
Yeah,
or maybe even painting if you want to paint some of your trim that's a little bit color, just to give it a little pop, right?
Yeah,
like a white
or
trim
change the white one wall, give you some, just boost, and your mood will change. Once again, we talk many, many times on the show, the home is like your backdrop, right? That's where you live, where you raise your family. Just something different. And you have children, right? You can make it a fun day to decorate their bedroom. They can pick their color. You can do something. Now, I saw a lot of my clients, they even put a nice sticker on the wall.
Yeah.
Either they have the name on the wall or their favorite football or whatever the
you had one
Lego.
client there was one client that we met that was an Eagles fan. So having won the Super Bowl, she said, "I don't care what's going to happen. The green is going to stay on the refrigerator, and the decorations are going to stay up
Everywhere.
until the photos are ready, because it's go green." And
That's
they
right.
won the Super Bowl. So and you're wearing your green to support the EB Bears, right?
Yeah, that's
And the
right.
Eagles.
Go East Brunswick.
All right, we are out of time. We hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you next week. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you.